Have you ever looked at an athlete and just thought, how are they so strong for their size? Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on the science of building pure, unadulterated strength without necessarily building size. Let's jump in.
So, the big question is, can you actually add plates to the bar without adding pounds to your body? This is a huge deal for athletes in weight classes, right? But it's also for anyone who just loves the feeling of being strong and capable without the book. And the answer? Oh, it's a huge, definite yes.
I mean, if you need to see it to believe it, just look at someone like Dr. Steffi Cohen. She is the living, breathing proof of this. She's constantly shattering world records, getting stronger and stronger, all while staying in the exact same weight class. So you see, the question really isn't if it's possible, it's how you do it.
Okay, so let's get right into the nuts and bolts. We're going to start with the how. This is the actual training blueprint, the stuff you can do in the gym tomorrow to tell your body, hey, we're training for strength, not for size.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with a concept called the SAID principle. It sounds fancy, but it's actually super simple. Your body adapts to the specific demands you place on it. You want to get good at sinking three-pointers? You gotta shoot three-pointers. And if you want to get really, really good at lifting heavy, heavy weight, well, you gotta lift heavy, heavy weight. Simple as that. So here's where that principle gets really practical. Look at these two workouts. In both of them, you're doing the exact same amount of work, 30 total reps. But the message you're sending your body could not be more different. 3 sets of 10, that creates a ton of muscular fatigue and metabolic stress, which screams grow bigger. But 10 sets of 3, that lets you use a much heavier weight for every single rep, and each rep is high quality. That's a direct signal to your nervous system to just get stronger. So let's really nail this down. For pure strength, you have to be working with heavy loads. We're talking 80% or more of what you could possibly lift for one rep. That intensity naturally keeps your reps low, somewhere in that 1 to 5 range. Now, here's a big one. You need long rest periods, 2 to 5 minutes, maybe even more. You need to be fully recovered for that next heavy set. And finally, intent. Every single time you lift that weight, you are trying to move it as fast and as explosively as possible, even if it's moving slowly because it's so heavy. Okay, so we've got our sets and reps figured out. Our intensity is high. But what exercises should we actually be doing? Because it's not just about how you lift, it's also about what you're lifting. This right here is a huge mental shift for a lot of people. You know, when the goal is getting bigger, we often think in body parts, right? It's chest day or it's back and buys. But for pure strength, it is way more effective to think in terms of movement patterns. You're not just training a bicep, you're training your body to perform an action, like pulling, as efficiently as possible. So a really solid balanced strength program is built around these fundamental human movements. For your lower body, you've got your squats, your hinges, like deadlifts, and your lunges. For the upper body, you need to push and pull horizontally, like a bench press in a row, and also vertically, like an overhead press and a pull-up. This way, you're building a body that works together as one strong, integrated unit. All right, we've gone over the how, the sets, the reps, the exercises. But now we get to the really fascinating part, the why. How is it even possible for your body to get stronger if the muscles aren't getting bigger? Well, the secret isn't actually in your muscles, it's in the master controller, your nervous system. I want you to think about it like this. Your muscles are the computer's hardware. Getting stronger, especially in the beginning, isn't about buying a bigger, fancier computer. It's about upgrading the software, your nervous system, to get way more performance out of the hardware you already own. And that software upgrade comes in 4 main flavors. First, your brain literally learns to switch on more muscle fibers at the same time. Second, it learns how to recruit your biggest, most powerful motor units, the ones that are usually saved for life or death situations. Third, it increases the rate at which it sends those fire signals. And finally, it gets way better at making sure everything fires in perfect, synchronized harmony. And this is exactly why lifting heavy is the master key to unlocking all of that. See, a motor unit, which is just the nerve and the muscle fibers it's attached to, it's like a light switch. It's either completely off or it's 100% on. There is no dimmer. So if you need to produce more force to lift a heavy weight, your body can't just tell the fibers to contract a little bit harder. Its only option is to flip on more switches. Heavy lifting forces your brain to learn how to do that. But you know, it's not all about the brain. There are some really cool things that happen inside the muscle fibers themselves that make them stronger and more powerful without actually making them bigger. The muscle itself literally gets smarter. So, inside our muscles, we have different kinds of fibers. You've got your slow twitch fibers, which are built for endurance, think long distance running. Then you have your fast twitch fibers. These are your powerhouses, built for explosive, powerful movements, but they get tired fast. Heavy strength training specifically targets and develops these powerful fast twitch fibers, making your muscles way more potent for their size. And it doesn't stop there. The individual muscle fibers just become better at their job. The whole system becomes more efficient. And on top of all that, your body learns to take better advantage of the natural springiness in your tendons. It's like using a rubber band to add a little extra pop to your lifts, giving you free force. So when you put all of this together, you've got the upgrades to the nervous system, you've got the muscles getting more efficient. It really forces you to look at strength in a whole new light. Think back to when you first started lifting weights. You remember those newbie gains where your strength just shot through the roof in the first couple of months? Well, that wasn't because you packed on a ton of muscle. Nope. That was almost purely your nervous system learning the skill of lifting. It was learning how to use the muscle you already had. The actual muscle growth comes much, much later, and it's a much slower process. And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway of all of this. Strength is a skill. It's something that needs to be practiced, honed, and perfected. Just like any other skill, you're not just building new hardware, you're constantly upgrading the software that runs the whole machine. So I'll leave you with this question. How would your training, your goals, your entire mindset change if you stopped thinking about strength as just some raw attribute and started treating it like a complex skill that you could truly master? Just think about what you could achieve. Thanks for tuning in.